Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich Shanxi. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, I mean, it's like 30, it's almost 38. It's almost 1938. So we should soon see China erupt into civil war, right? Like, it has to happen eventually. Either, you know, Qing fight defending government, or the National Revolution government, they attack the Qing, or maybe the Guangzhou government, they attack the Qing, or the Kunming government attacks the Guangzhou government. Somebody's got to pull the trigger at some point. But we are, as far as I'm aware, we're allowed to join two sides, basically. We'll eventually be able to either join up with Chen Jiaoming, or be able to join Song Qingling. I think those are our two allies. Maybe there's a way for us to ally with the defending government, but I don't think that's the case because we've gone for the GMJ. I would probably right now prefer to join up with the Federalist, just because I mean they have Szechuan, they got the Federalist, they got the South, and I think they have more units. I mean 9 to 47. Okay, maybe they have a lot less, but I mean Szechuan 13 to 62. I think between Szechuan and the southern government, they might have more troops, but we'll just see whoever actually offers an alliance first. We'll look at it when we get there. So the student union strike. Hearing about a renewed effort at reforming education, the Shanxi Student Association has decided to order a general strike. Refusing to attend class and even intimidating teachers and students that do. While there were some in the government that hoped they would be too disorganized and moribund since the last time, it appears that the students are out in full force against reforms, fearing further loss in status. Indeed, in Shanxi, a frequent complaint is the middle and college graduates simply graduate and join the job list, at a time when the economy is undergoing tremendous changes and employment is scarce. This is not the first time, of course, this has happened. Zhao Daiwen, the draconian principal of the People's National School, was so harsh in suppressing dissent in the 1920s that he threw in some of his sons in prison and exiled another for the student participation, trying to distrusting Beijing-trained students. This failed to stop student radicalism, and when news came out in 1925 that the Entente intended to hand over Shandong to the Japanese, these touched off a small anti-imperialist riot in Taiyuan. The Student Association boycotted foreign goods. Although quickly dissipated later when taxes were raised on students, massive strike and rioting forced Yan to relent and fire Zhao. Zhao Peilin was his replacement, and his more accelerated approach towards students had given him even greater power. Since people as normal school educates the teachers, the de facto handed much of the control of the education over to the Student Association, who have utilized their power to intimidate instructors deemed too pro-foreign, strict, or otherwise anger the student body. Sometimes strikes are called simply to prevent attending exams or to extend winter break, contributing to the breakdown of Shanxi's education system. It appears that our efforts to reform education will require us to wrest some control back, setting us on a collision course. So we have our I mean, how many? Let me actually take a look at the education reforms. We've had 729 days. That's actually an incredibly long time. Okay. Can you prioritize early education? Give me a little bit more research speed. We have to deal with the students. Probably get that done after you would be the best guess. Sweden joined the Reichspakt. That's fine. I did notice. I mean, Nepal's actually no. Okay, Nepal was doing really well for a second, but they've kind of completely faltered, which is very sad for them. But also, what the hell? Mysore took over the entirety of the Princely Federation? I don't even... What can you guys even do? I don't think you can unify India. They're going off. Good damn. Okay, so you have... Okay, a war is broken out. Okay, so the Kunming nationalist government is now at war with the Guangzhou government. But I mean, they've also got Szechuan on their side as well. So I mean, it doesn't seem like it's gonna go great for the Kunming national government, but it will weaken the Federalist. I still feel like they're pretty powerful, especially once they eventually go to war with the Qing. Okay, Russia's gonna warn everybody in Central Asia. We did see Ireland has actually joined up with the International. How strong's the Reichspakt? You know, it's not a bad looking Reichspakt. Looking pretty good. Okay, so we get 10% stability, or we remove what we can enforce truancy laws. I mean, I would like 10. I mean, we're at negative 1% stability. I would like the plus 10. Education at Shanxi is a process. That's Feng Yusheng and his latest complaint would indicate. For primary schooling, for all its faults, generally sees decent attendance. Middle schooling has largely been overlooked in favor of primary higher educations. Compensating about 6 years of education due to traditionalist values, transitional issues. Middle schooling and its content incorporates both middle and secondary high schools education. For many in Shanxi, it is far too expensive. Indeed, given a relatively lack of opportunities, students that skip school and learn to practice trades in their teenage years tend to be more employable than their studious peers. Let us enforce truancy laws. So I think we do want to get this done as quickly as we can. Gives us more support. I mean, we get 5% consumer goods. Who cares, right? So this gives us 1 civilian factory for stability. It only gives us 1 civilian factory for the 60 days. But it does remove 100 days off of you, so I will take it. Because 750 days is actually like an incredibly long time in Kaiserreich. Because that's what? Almost 2 years. More like a year and a half. And Kaiserreich, it really lasts 5 or 6 years at most. And in China's case, it can vary wildly depending on how quickly you can actually win. I do think like the earliest, like if you did the Qing or the federalist government and you just were as aggressive as possible, I bet you could unify China by like 38, and then probably defeat the Japanese by 39. Also, I have a research slot. What do I want to take? What do I want to take? Let's go 38 rifles. And dealing with the students. As principal of the People's Normal School, and thereby the head educator of educators, Zhao Peilin has always been in a top position. In recent days, he has been tasked with ending the student strike that has consumed much of Taiyuan. Compounding the challenge is that the students lack a definitive leader, with different groups within the student association pushing for various objectives. Still, some consistent student demands have emerged, including easier exams, promise of higher paying jobs, and exemption of military service. So we can either wait them out, we can crush them. Do I have Feng? No. I make syndicalism stronger. Given to what they want, just wait them out. I mean, that is a 10% stability loss. But I also don't want the student association is the liberals here. And I don't want them to have any power. And you're Zhao. So, yeah, because you're here. 150 days. I don't. We'll give it a little bit, okay? But we'll be back. We'll be back to put the students back in their place. Okay, national focus, party and secret societies. I mean, that seems like it probably would be important. I'm assuming at least. I don't really know what the secret societies do. They have enforced truancy laws. Beijing's shadow. I mean, I don't really see anything that really indicates anything about secret societies. So maybe the secret societies aren't actually that big of a deal. But I still like to fight them, just in case, right? Just in case. Expands women's education. Gives us 50,000 manpower. I mean, that's good, right? And the militarization of schools. I do not want to add 100 days in here. Militarize youth. Training time goes down. Honestly, you're kind of garbage. Give me the war support. Give me the political power. I know it's not, you know, super... I mean, it's a negative 33% recruitment. So, I mean, that would save us 50 political power and need to train a little bit faster. But as Shanxi, we're never really going to have an absolutely massive... Like, I still can't train units. Out of Beijing Shadow. Oh, we also want to get this done at some point, too. Okay. Add the model. We will receive additional rewards. Strengthen influence. there a way in here that I can just, like, I can train units again? Removal of the or no, renovate the arsenal. What is this actually called? Dual armies. Integrate the armies. Okay, so if I get here, then I can actually train units again. Okay, well, I guess that actually probably should be a pretty high priority for us. And I also would like to well, I can't do either of these quite yet. But I would like to get out of our out of Beijing shadow as well. And of course, we still got to deal with the model city, which is going to take us a little bit of time to get to, but it should be fine. Okay, thank you for this. I mean, so you are 3 focuses. Ah, but you two are actually pretty cheap, so get this one done first. 100 political power and the fate of secret societies. Banning political parties in Shanxi was supposed to keep the provinces united under Yan's rule. This only resulted in the proliferation of various secret groups across Shanxi. Chief among them are the intellectuals, who are nationalistic, anti-Japanese, anti-imperialist, and desire a united China. Republican agitators, meanwhile, often seek radical reform, including liberalization and abolishment of the monarchy and the feudal remnants. Some engage in acts of terrorism in East Shanxi and Xi'an, destabilizing Beijing's control. Yan's own Neo-Confucius heart-washing society also seen a measure of independence. Now that many of the less motivated have left. So let's see. So we can go with I don't want Beijing's influence to grow. Promote you. I mean a little bit of a little bit of national populism support for 10% stability. I mean that seems fine, right? Nothing bad could come from this. Cancel the theorist. Can't do you quite yet. I mean, you're actually pretty good. And we get superior firepower, which I'm assuming is... Actually, have I don't think I haven't taken any of these, right? No. We still need way more army experience as well. Missionary schools in Shanxi. You know what? I'll take another 10% stability. Thank you very much. And what are you? You were just cheaper... cheaper doctrines, and we just get passive gain on everything. I mean, that's kind of okay. I mean, I'm leaning towards you, but... if I can get actually someone who gives me just a passive army experience gain. Got a lot of experts, army reformer, 8% more organization. You know what? Actually, having an army reformer makes perfect sense. Because we do need to do the army reform at some point, and that requires us to have a ton of army experience. If anything, maybe I want to train my units up. Because we should be getting, 3.3 per day. We get 1 every 3 days. So that's... every 300 days, we get 100 points. I think so. Does Xing propose a joint mining project? Absolutely not. I like Beijing. At this point, you've got to realize we're not friends. I don't like you. You're trying to like me. But that's not how this is going to work at all. Absolutely not. That's not how this works. You stay over there. I'll be over here. How have you guys not killed the Chongming National Guardman quite yet? Like, how close are you? You've got to be almost there, right? 15... apparently not. You've actually lost more units trying to kill the Kunming government. And I want to see you win. I do think we want to side with the Federalists in this campaign. Flash Orders capitulated. But if Song Xingling were to invade the Federalist right now, I think she would win. She's got a decent-sized army. They'd be fighting a 2-front war. Szechuan, who is their main ally. This doesn't seem good. The Qing government demands for submission. Confident in their growing strength, perhaps immediately seeing protection in it. These times of troubles, we have received a series of demands from the Ashoguri Puyi's government, demanding our immediate recognition of their authority. To naturally entail the stationing of troops, adhering to the decrees, and likely further tributes would be that would naturally be sent to the national government. Calling their bluff, of course, is always an option. I don't have a choice. I have to call their bluff. It would likely mean war. Though freedom from tyranny often requires such a price, especially warlord-era China. The nation is littered with failed governments who outstretch themselves, assailing weak and vulnerable factions. Hey, I know, what, you got 2 units on this border? Let's just gonna send you over here, ASAP. Hey, China. Good old Jing Puyi. I need you to fuck off, okay? I should have enough units for my borders. Delete this line, delete this line. Don't be on the border of Mongolia. That doesn't actually accomplish anything. I think we've successfully called their bluff. Like, they're not going to send troops into the area. Well, yeah, the AI was sending troops to the border because they were taking that decision. And now, because the AI said no to it, they're pulling their units away. Oh, Beijing. You thought you could intimidate me and the Guaojumin. Absolutely not. I refuse to bend the knee. The Qing declared war on the National Revolutionary Government. I mean that's understandable for sure. Natural defenses, integrate the armies, improve logistics. Does this start negotiations? You allow me to side with the government. 42 days on you. Let's integrate the armies. Primarily so I can maybe, sure, why not? Maybe just so I can train units. How many guns do I have in storage right now? 3.4k. I mean, I know that's not like a ton. And most of my units are actually kind of ass. Well, maybe we can get ourselves... Dealing invasion imminent. Reports from our border indicate that we will soon be under attack from the wretched neighbor in the Qing government. Dissatisfied with our government, the Puyi has formally announced us before a crowd in Beijing. Are you shitting me right now? Puyi! I'm not even building anything. Build a military factory over here, please, and thank you. I would like to join you. The fate of the dual armies. Divisional organization. We kept... It's either... Look how many... Why would you ever not take onward Chinese soldiers? Wait a second. I might have to, because does that delete my entire army? It might. It might. Which would be a terrible thing. Ever since the bloody end of the Fourth Zili-Vietnam War in 1928, Wu Peifu's hope of extending his tyrannical rule over Shanxi were kept in check by the newly aligned armies of the Guaojumin and the Shanxi Provincial Army. Disproportionately large for its size and wealth of the realm, what they defend, this coalition nonetheless has kept the Central Army at bay with the help of the land's tall mountains and numerous rivers. Nonetheless, no serious effort was made to integrate the two forces, with both Yan and Fang remaining suspicious towards the other's long-term intentions. For the most part, the Guaojumin occupied the northern part of Shanxi and supplied their own army through a mixture of impromptu workshops, smuggled and stolen guns from raids in Xi'an, and caches of older weapons from the 1920s. The provincial army has likewise stayed in their bases in Shanxi, jealously guarding their stores of Taiyuan arsenal-made weapons. With the rout of the provincial army in the face of our advance, we have been given a chance to last integrate our forces. This leaves us two options. First of which is to take every individual soldier willing to join our cause, indoctrinating them into our ideology. The second would be to simply replace top-level leadership in the provincial army, keeping their status and units, but with a different governor at the helm. So you remove all of you. Which I think is like a majority of my army. 13 units. I mean, I could train units now. And I get some good modifiers. Oh no, did I only lose 2 units? Wait a second. So I think we had 15 units. Now, I thought I got rid of all of our template units. No, I got rid of one of them. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about that at all. I'm going to duplicate you. Just remove the recon company. I don't need you in there. Give me 4 units to deploy. We have 2.3 thousand rifles. If I were to switch the militia out with actual units, we could do it. Please arm yourselves as quickly as you possibly can. Thank you. Also, I need to do out of Beijing Shadow. So, they're going to attack me. Burma joined Eastern Syndicalist Union. Not a big deal. I mean, I will say the National Revolutionary Government is doing pretty well for themselves. And so you do have a casus belli against me. You've also got a casus belli against the coming national government. Hey! It's a war! Yay! Okay. We're going to do Shanxi marches on, which then allows us to seek Republican ties, and we'll align ourselves with the National Revolutionary Government because they're the only ones that are at war with the Qing, and I kind of need them to back me here. But for the time being, I think this is a really good time for us to end up for today. So thanks for watching my Anthem. If you've enjoyed, remember thumbs up. If you're not enjoying, click thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.